Okay, I figured out more or less where things need to reach to, and since a couple of these guys got to go here and the rest need to go back there, I'm going to strip it back another inch or so. Okay, got it all stripped back here. Got my 4 wires for the 2 coils, plus I got the unshielded ground, which I guess I'm going to connect to my unshielded ground, and everything should be hunky-dory. Yeah, and everything's stripped back far enough so that I can get to this switch and like get to this switch and this switch and everything, and nothing will be too stretched or anything like that. And I want a little bit of slack and everything because I gotta, put it all into the pickup at some point. So I mean the control panel, pick guard, whatever. So yeah, you're gonna want a little slack for that. Let's see. Yeah, so we're all stripped back. This black one, the wire itself will need to be stripped at some point. I think these are more or less tinned already, so I guess it's time to go for it. Green is hot for our, what we're calling our A coil, which is this guy, the one that sounds nice, the cream colored one. So this is our A switch, so this is going to go on the center terminal of the A switch, and then where's my chart here? White is the positive for the B coil, and that'll go on the center of this guy over here. And then I don't have the page with the other 2 switches like in view, so I can't tell you where the other 2 wires go. Well, let's see. I think they both go over here to the series parallel, as I recall. They're going to go to like a couple of these terminals. So that's pretty much the plan. The last video for this guitar build is uploading right now. It's like about 30 minutes of footage total, which was shot over shoot, I don't know, the course of 6 hours or something. And YouTube needs like 2 or 3 hours to upload it. And it's YouTube, it's not me, it's not my bandwidth. I got bandwidth now for a little while until I'm building a guitar, I'm not watching videos, so I might have bandwidth for a minute. Okay. Got the green one, positive for the A coil, hooked up to center. Got the white one, positive for the B coil, hooked up to the center. Now for the negatives. Okay, red here is the ground for the A coil, and it goes to either one of the negative terminals on the phase switch. And that leaves the ground for the B coil, which goes over here to the humbucker, and then this guy is going to go, I guess, like right here somewhere, wherever it's easiest to solder. Check it out, I found another pickup and another DP-DT switch. So it looks like I got the parts for version 2.0 with this thing, the double DP-DT switches. Maybe I should just go ahead and make another panel, but I'm so close, I think I'll just continue with this. I don't know what this pickup's rated at or whether it's got screws inside or anything. I'm looking around for, when I hook up, I'm doing the last one here, the black one, whatever it is. Yeah, it's going to go on this terminal, but this is also the same way that this terminal takes the positive from the A coil phase, and then that's also the output to the pot. Watch out. By the same token, this guy here, not the one in the center, but this guy on this side is going to be the negative but it's going to do the same thing. It also needs to go to the pot, but all this is connected to the negative side of the pot anyway. I forgot to put a wire from here to here, so I'm digging up some silver stuff so that I can run one from here to here and make it pretty obvious what's going on, that that's also supposed to be grounded. So yeah, I was digging up for the silver wire and I came across another switch and a pickup. Looks like I need to either like sort out the unsorted parts bags or fish through them when I'm looking for stuff. I found 3 more single coils and a humbucker, but no screws. So carry on. Okay, I think I've got it all. Got the black one here, and it's going over to this guy. And there's that ground wire I threw in right there. And yeah, getting a little closer might help. Yeah, here's the black right there, going to this guy right here. And then there's the ground. I actually wired all this stuff sitting in the cardboard except for the jack. And there what I did is I used the trick of take your needle nose and put some rubber band, put a rubber band or 2 around the back end, and you use that in order to hold your components while you're soldering. That way you don't have to get one of those things with all the claws. I actually got one of the things with all the claws, but this is good enough for 99% of the stuff I do. So, little trick. Okay, the only thing that I encountered, other than the fact that like a couple of wires didn't want to cooperate, this guy kept coming off. Eventually I got them all soldered on tight. These switches are hypersensitive to heat, and so you hold an iron on it too long and the little terminals on them will actually start to melt the plastic and the terminals start falling over. It's like, oh, come back here. So yeah, I might have like melted these guys down. It's a distinct possibility, but let's hope not. They can usually take a little bit of heat and a little bit of melting and still work. So as long as you don't like bend the terminal sideways or something. Okay, overall, it's engineering. You throw the switch and it blows up, okay? And then you do it for the umpteenth time, and then all of a sudden it frickin' works, and it surprises the heck out of you. And that's engineering. So, yeah. So, we're going to throw the switch and see if it blows up or not. I think it's going to, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Yeah, it should work, but I can't guarantee that I didn't, like, make a mistake or forget something or like that. So I was thinking of troubleshooting each part of the circuit as I went along, but too late now, huh? I mean, I can always go in and with gator clips and pick up signal here and there and whatever if I find that I've got, you know, no signal at the jack or something like that. But in order to like isolate a certain part and test, you know, like what's coming out of the pickup is good, okay, is it good to this switch? Yeah. Is it good to this switch? Yeah. Is it good to here? Yeah. As far as that goes, I'd probably have to disconnect the rest of the circuit to isolate, you know, starting at this end and going downstream. So maybe I should have done that in the first place. I've done that in the past, and it's a good way to make sure that, you know, you don't miss any wires, and you don't and all your soldering connections are good and tight, and nothing's come loose while you're working on it. So I think I did that for the Strat build, which I think is, yeah, the electronics for the Strat build is also documented. there's a video on that. So, but anyway, yeah, let's plug this puppy in and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Full disclosure, live, recorded live, unedited, unscripted, full disclosure, no mistakes edited out or anything like that. I plugged it in, I got the amp plugged in, the amp's turned on, the volume's all the way down. I found out the last time I was recording something with this amp, which, as you probably, if you saw the episodes, there was an awful lot of line noise or buzz or whatever from whatever. Yeah, it's plugged in. I found out that it was on overdrive channel, which always is louder. I mean noisier. But yeah, but like I said, this place has very soupy electronics, soupy power. So here we go. It's on, and it's plugged in. And the question is does it make noise? So, like I said, I haven't tried it yet. Let's just see what happens. I don't think it's going to work. You know how life is. Murphy is God of the universe, and so yeah, Murphy's going to strike me down here. Murphy's Law. Yeah, looks like we got a whole lot of nothing. Of course, then pickups might not be turned on, and the volume might be down. So let's see what we get. Go around the other side here, and we'll see if the volume is up and down. Volume's all the way one way. Does that make a difference? Nope. The pickup's off. Well, one of them should be on, at least. Uh-oh, something came loose. What's that? Oh, I forgot to put this on. It's really not hypercritical, I don't think. That's just the shielding for the pickup. I'll have to solder that at some point. But, yeah, we've still got no sound. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. I did something wrong. Let me solder that, and then I'll get some alligator clips and start checking it out. It's actually maybe a good thing that this isn't working straight out of the box, because this way, not that I'd particularly want to, but you do get an opportunity to see how you troubleshoot an electronic circuit like this. So, yeah. I'll take you through the troubleshooting. We'll find it together. We'll fix it together. You'll become more knowledgeable about guitar electronics, unless you already know a lot about guitar electronics. So, little adventure. Yeah. My ex-fiance used to say that about me. Life with me was always an adventure. So, yeah. Come have an adventure with Norm. We're going to troubleshoot the circuit. Okay. Got that, pick up ground wire. Yeah. It's connected to our common ground now. So, I soldered it up. And needless to say, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah. You see the blue, power's on. Yeah, so. But you also see the jumper, the alligator clips. I'm ready to start debugging this thing. Here we go. Okay. I unplugged the jack, hooked up the gator clips, and taped everything down so it'll stay where it's supposed to be. And this should give us, like, I don't know if you can hear it at home. Or it could go like, no fun. If you got like better gear, well, I've got some gear. What you do is you like take your rig, right, and you take your cable for your guitar and you turn up your volume some, and you pick it up, but you're careful not to touch the end, so you don't make any noise. It doesn't make any noise until you touch it, right? And this is when you're running high gain and stuff. This is something I used to do all the time. I always thought it was funny. So you got your thing, and it's all hot. I mean, it's like, you know, if you touch it, it's going to really buzz. And so what you do is you pick it up, and you're just like, you might touch it just a little bit, just to make just a little bit of noise to let folks know that it's on, right? And then what you do, and you do this, I used to do this in front of friends when I was going to play something. And you take the thing, and before you plug it in the guitar, you go, beep, beep, is this thing on? And then you take it and you stick it up against your temple like you're trying to plug it into your head, and it goes, and while it's doing it, you go, ah! And yeah, so that's the joke. So yeah, yeah, now it's going to do it. Yeah, you stick this up against your head and go, ah! But anyway, I know, kind of stupid, right? Kind of stupid, but hey, might get a laugh out of the audience someday. Alright, so what are we doing? Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if, like, our A coil is working. So we go to coil A, which is our green and our red. Just go right here. This is our on-off. Yep, here's our green. That's the positive side of the A coil. And this is the negative side over here, this red one. Let's see if we can grab that, see what we get in. Wow, imagine that, the pickup still works. Okay, so here's the basic strategy. We're going to start all the way upstream at the beginning of our signal, and we're going to trace until we don't have signal, or something seems weird, and at that point we'll more or less know what part is messed up, and then we can look at the diagrams and stuff and figure out. Well, I will look at the diagrams, and you guys get to see the results. But anyway, okay, so, alright, A coil's working. And it's going out of tune a little bit. Let's check B coil. So let's see, the ground is hot for B coil. It's going to be the same idea on the other switch. It's going to be the middle terminal. The white wire. Here's our hot. Now ground for B coil is our black wire, which is this guy over here, which is connected to ground. So we'll just go to our common ground, and might actually be able to leave that on that for everything. There's our B. A little brighter. If we go back to our A, what did I do wrong? Oh, I gotta move the ground too. Ah, that might be something. Theoretically, these should all be common grounds. Where's the grounds that are? That's red. It's red. It's red. Here. Yeah. There's a lot of switches. We might be in some mode that makes something not work. Anyway, where's that? Alright, never mind. No, we'll do it. Okay, so back to A. Which is green and red. Alright, so this is A with the screws. And there's that thumpy bass. And that extra bright number 1 string. Now, for B, a lot more nasally and a lot more in these 3 strings. And not as much in the bass, not as much in the treble. That's about the same, but it doesn't have the same bright overtones. So yeah, because that lug is not jacked up the way this is. So our lugs versus our screws is definitely having an effect there, which is always a good thing. You don't want to, I mean, you didn't believe that stuff about Gibson marketing guys just adding this on just for kicks. Actually, it might be true, but yeah, it actually does have an effect. Wait a second. How does that story go again? They say that they came out, oh wait, the P90s do have screws or something like that. And then they came out with the humbuckers and they were like, man, where's our screws? We need that as a selling point. The salesman for Gibson said that, supposedly. And that's how the humbucker got the screws, but I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard something of that nature in the past. One of those guitar legends, guitar history legends, or whatever you would call it. Okay, so I need to go switch a battery charger over the slow cycle. I'll be right back. Okay, moving right along. See if our on-off switches work. Back to A. We're going to go on the other side there now. And where's the ground? Green and red. There's a red. Too much silver stuff, can't tell it all apart. There we go. Great. Ground went to the ground side of the fade switch. Okay. We got nothing. Go to the switch. We got nothing. I must have burnt the switch out. Go on this side, we should have signal again. Yep. Remember how I said they were hypersensitive to heat? fried it. Okay. Well, we'll start by fixing that. This thing will get a whole sack full of them. I'll be back. Yeah, I figured I'd slap a meter on it just to double check. This is on 20 kilo ohm scale. Yeah, 1 means infinite resistance, 0 means it's a closed circuit or short. So yeah, this is open and that's open. It's fried. Okay, sack full of DPSTs. There's a new one. Just make sure it works. And we go and switch. And hey, look, it works. Imagine that. Cool. Alright. On. Off. Sweet. On. Off. Not very responsive digital readout. Alright, switch works. That one's fried. Time to attempt number 2 at soldering without melting components. I'll be back. Don't feel bad if you think you're not great at soldering. I took 3 years of electronics shop and I got like A's and B's the whole 3 years every quarter. So yeah, that's like 12 quarters of A's and B's in the electronics shop. And even I melt stuff down occasionally. It happens to the best of us. One thing you can do, in my particular case, these wires might not have been as clean as they could have been, and you could take some really fine sandpaper and you actually sand the wire before you tin it. So, especially with these things, oh my god, these are just so hypersensitive. Really almost designed for using connectors, but they've got holes in them if this thing would focus, which it won't. Stupid camera. There's a hole, yeah. So yeah, they do have holes in the things. There you go, you can see clearly. They do have holes, but you know, it's like even if you've got a low wattage iron, you touch it on this thing and 5 or 10 seconds. You only got like maybe 5 or 10 seconds after the solder melts or starts to melt, even before it starts to get loose on you. So give it another shot. I'm working with I don't know, like a 120 watt or something like that gun. And that's the low power gun. Maybe I should switch back to the high power gun with the bad tip. Might not get quite as hot. Yeah, we've got heat in the shop again, so it's not like. Yeah, last night when I was using the high powered, it's like 160 watt gun with it's got one of those like wide flat tips for doing surfaces or something. I used up all the good tips already. And so I took like the wide flat one and bent it around in order to try to make it more of a regular tip, but it's still not as good as a real tip. So, but that thing, I mean, it's like, when I stopped using it last night, it was almost 30 or 40 degrees colder here in the shop, which of course cuts 30 or 40 degrees off the top temperature that your iron will get to, and pretty soon things just get too cold to actually, it gets down below the melting point of solder. So, which is, I don't know, what, 240 or something like that. There's something. There's something for you to do. Go Google the melting point of solder. Anyway, yeah. Speaking of solder, it's time for me to try again on this switch. I'll be back.